Yo, the devil is silent, y'all. It takes on no political sound. It's with a bound point on the O. That's how they get off. Yeah. They gon' hate me for this one. But I told you about it. I got what I want. Without me, you spare my life. You never soon see what I will become and what I will need. You showed me a very clear road. You gave a new heart, you gave a new soul, you gave an old love. Why am I chose you, the love of my life? I'll be exposed when one door opens, the other one closes. When one spring leaves, that's one deep hole. But when all God leaves, this is my soul. I live with my knees, defend with my soul. But when my spring leaves, this is my flow. I look back once, I can't do that no more. Now I got that chance, I'ma work hard. Love with my life, love with my father. To my soul ain't who I lean on when the rest hate. I thank you, yeah, for my sake. You've been too good, too great. You always been here, face to face. When my moms would get mad, cause I spake. I spoke your name to her face. Said I would do the same for your sake. And let the world know, face to face. I only love you, no misplace. And there's no J in the wise place. Black Moses, we know each other face to face. I know I know in the world, she takes place. No matter where I'm at, no matter where I go, I never lose faith. It's your life.
Israelites. Welcome back to part 2 of Oriah 1 West UPK street camps. Eyewitness account of the true history of the origins and the beginnings and the end workings of UPK, or Universal Catholic, universal, same word, practical knowledge. A school that we learned and talked about last time that was established on both the blood of Elder Abba Bivens assassinated, the school was destroyed. He was not honored, so I don't know why a lot of people invoke his name. The school was destroyed, and the question is still on the table for REI. Where is the school of Torah and Tanakh that Abba Bivens established? How many people in the history of camps and going out? This man, they say, was 80 years old and died on the battlefield preaching a true message, a message that did not include any idle shy. Elder Abba Bivens in the School of Torah did not promote, teach, and put forth for the black people, for the Israelites, any Son of Mary idol from the Roman Catholic Church. But REI did. He sold out to the Jesuits. And I was going to say he taught you. He didn't even teach you to worship Christ. You all learned to worship Christ in the Christian church. Yeah, you did. That's when you first met Jesus. You met him in the Christian church. And these camps, all they did was tell you about your nationality. That you didn't know. Now you don't call yourself African American, you don't call yourself Negro, you know, all these names. Black, even though black is the #1 byword, everybody knows what a black person looks like. But now you done found out something. You done found out that you're an Israelite. Great. All praises. Hallelujah. What is the Israelite supposed to do that's newly awakened? It's supposed to return to the commandments. Keep the commandments. And what's the first commandment, my brother?
I am Yah, the God of Abraham, who brought you out of Egypt.
The first commandment is have no other gods.
Therefore have no other gods before me.
That's what Brother Abba Bivens was teaching. Not only was Abba Bivens teaching Torah and Tanakh, Yah only, guess who was learning it? REI. See how y'all hate these Old Testament Israelites, but REI was the OT for years. Trained up in the Abba Bivens School of Torah and Tanakh. But he sold out, and the rest is history. And this history is what we're going to go over, continue to go over, as everything comes out in this judgment hour before we go into the wilderness. Everything's coming out, One West. So roll the tape.
That's what I'm saying.
Wow.
I cannot lie on this shit because the Most High told me what He's going to do to me. And
Right.
I said, "The hell with this shit."
Right.
Tell y'all the truth. You can
Right.
believe me or not. I can care less. But guess what?
Right.
That blood
Right.
ain't in my hands. So
Right. See, the
dangerous.
right. The biggest mistake everybody in One West made was they didn't point to the Messiah. Look, let's follow him. Let's move like he moved. And you were to see a lot of that stuff dissipate. Why? Because the evil that get in us, he teaches us how to deal with that. You know what I'm saying? The things he talked about was dealing with evil spirits, man. You know what I'm saying? So I've seen it, like I've seen Satan do it tall, man. I'm serious, bro. Now, going back to what I was saying about the
Now I wanted to point out something about what Ward said. He said that he seen Satan do a tour. And this is one thing that we have to get up out of. We have to take this out of our mind. I feel bad for whoever Satan is, I know many Satans, many devils. I myself has been a devil, an adversary at one point in time. We have to stop blaming the devil for choices that we have made. We have to take responsibilities for the choices we have made. We cannot blame, I mean, it doesn't make sense that grown people are here blaming some deity who no one's never met before on their decisions that they made. You know, and here he will go on to speak and to say that the devil is the cause, and the devil has gotten into brothers and caused them to have wicked thoughts against their own brother, and blame it on the devil instead of blaming it on the brothers who's actually having these thoughts, right? Because this is the stuff we have to deal with inside the nation. I mean, how can we have brotherly love, peace, and harmony when we have brothers who are blaming their emotions, their feelings, their choices on a deity who doesn't even exist? I don't know if Eliab, you want something to say, have something to say about that?
Yeah, I mean, Goz, you make a great point. And what's even in addition that's astounding is that when you use that type of language, and when people use that type of language, they're actually describing something that's beyond natural, in the sense that he saw some wickedness. And I've been around this religious church game for a minute, and I've seen different things happening that's definitely not right, sinning, breaking the commandments, but the eyewitness testimonies about what was going on in that school, I've never heard the like before in any church. And it's almost like when you say Arya is the modern day Ahab, you know, Ahab was the most wickedest king in Israelite history.
Yes, sir.
People don't realize that. And if you're the modern day Ahab, in the last days, when we're living in a time where wickedness is off the chart, then this is the worst situation in the history of the world. If we're talking about Israel, you got ancient Israel and you got modern day Israel. And the world is more wicked than it's ever been.
Totally agree.
Same with the religion side.
Totally agree.
Especially the false prophets in the last days in time.
Totally agree.
That's what we're dealing with right now.
All right, we'll get back to the video.
The 12 Kings thing, that came in. That was about money again. Because Marshall used to tell us back in the day about how these Rosicrucians used to come to them like, yo, with a blank checkbook. And he said, yeah, you can take that and stuff it. That's what he said.
The elders told me about that too.
Yep.
Now, I had to stop it. I do apologize that I continue to keep stopping the video, but this is a point that I wanted to shed some light on about them talking about the Rosicrucians coming to Marshall. You know, me and Eliab been saying over and over and over again that the hierarchies were confronted, shall we say, for lack of words to say, they were confronted by the Rosicrucians or the elites, the Illuminati, to obviously throw a monkey wrench into the awakening of Israel, right? And this is what you see now. Everything that you see right now is the product of the COINTELPRO, shall we say, right? Everything that we see right now with all these camps is from the hand of the Rosicrucians, the elites, the Illuminati, all right? For lack of words. Let's continue.
Yeah, that was real talk. So what happened was, these guys gonna come back one day, and they did. Okay? So that's why the 12 Kings came up, because we had to get Marshall out the way. We're gonna get that money. Now Yeshaya, which was the ringleader of that, I used to be in a camp called, you ever heard of a camp called Mount Zion? You ever heard of them?
I heard of them.
Yeah, on 42nd Street and 8th. And I was in there, and Shia used to come and bring his car to go to 44th, pick me up. He always wanted me to escort him. I was way bigger than this. He used to want me to escort him to the 44th Street camp. And he told me, he said, yo, when the split was happening, he said, yo, I've been watching you. We like the way you move. You come with us, a lot of planes. And what he said, you're going to have access to planes, money, whatever you need. That's what he told me. You know what I'm saying? And one day I'm riding down 125th Street. I see this big Bentley. I'm like, oh, there's a rock star? Shia in there. He had the fisherman hat, big old beard driving the Bentley. I said, what's Shia doing that Bentley? You know? But anyway, so they end up infiltrating. For real. That's real talk.
And I've been saying that COINTELPRO infiltrated.
And so this is what we were bringing out months and months ago, shedding light on the COINTELPRO, the infiltration of the Rosicrucians, the Illuminati, okay, it all came out in all the alphabet boys all the months ago in the gematria. We were getting a lot of pushback from brothers, but as you're seeing now, we have brothers who know the truth and they're coming out saying it. Okay, so I just don't understand how they know that the guy that came up with everything that they have as knowledge, they know that he was infiltrated by the government, okay? And so there's been talk, and this came up in the work that we did about how the name had witchcraft on it, the name that REI came up with, the school, had spells, they're doing witchcraft on the schools and whatnot. You know, that's the word going on in the streets. These brothers know this, but they still hold on to a lot of the doctrine that REI handed down to them. And they would agree that REI was a false prophet. Matter of fact, Sharsham would go on to speak later on in the video that he believes that REI is the one that's prophesied in Deuteronomy 13. And I will say this, Deuteronomy 13 is not a prophecy on one individual person. Deuteronomy 13 is actually speaking about anyone who actually would do what is spoken about in Deuteronomy 13. It's not just singling out just one person. You have anything to add to that, Mr. Eliah?
Don't make no apologies, for stopping. It's just dropping bombs on themselves because the whole thing is a Rosicrucian judge.
You broke out, Eliah. You broke out. Go ahead and repeat yourself.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you now.
Okay, I said, don't apologize for stopping the tape because they're dropping bombs on themselves because the whole thing is nothing more than a Rosicrucian Jesuit Vatican setup from day one. So when you hear all this fake talk about, oh yeah, the people came, but they turned them down, no, it was already set up. That was to put a trick in your mind so when you do see things, you don't see it.
Yeah, you said that's the Jedi trick.
You see things, but you don't know, you don't have the timeline straight. Because people, there's no debate. Everybody, I'm not slandering the man. I'm repeating what these eyewitnesses prove and say, and people have said publicly, that REI sold out. They all say it. So now, when we're going through the history, as the history comes out, the question is, when did the sellout take place? Did it take place at the time of Tazadakia? We can definitely see that he sold out long before then. And then we keep going back and back till we land on the mystery date.
Right.
It's not 1969. What really happened in 1969? There was no 7 heads sitting around the table creating no ISUPK in 1969. And I debate anybody on that. Lahab was nowhere around there in 1969. And Yahawah, who always talking about 1969, was definitely not sitting around no table observing nothing, eyewitnessing anything being set up in 1969. And let them make a video.
Okay.
Bring out the
Bring out the evidence.
You know?
We want the evidence. All right, well, we're going to get back to the video.
Traded Israel way before then, but even now, because they took the militants out of Israel. Staying on with the younger brothers in the generation now, Jews on the street corners wearing saggy pants, they carrying vests, automatic weapons, making us look crazy, making us look weak. They out there wearing fitted hats. They wearing certain things to still represent their gang, showing them that they still loyal to their gang, and they just infiltrated Israel with hip hop and all types of shit. And this don't look like no militant movement no more. Like how the nation Israel, Islam used to look at Israelites like these dudes, boots, garments, out there ready for war. Like we don't look like that no more on the street corners. It just look like a bunch of young kids and they preaching the Bible, but they look like they ready to go to a hip hop show sometimes.
Yeah, I mean it's really that bad, bro. You understand? Like really that bad. They got in, and some people took the check. And like if you go back to the Comforter, right? You don't remember he was going around in camps, passing camps, because what they tell you when you take the check, you got to get everybody under you.
And look, this is why I agree everything you just said, and I kept telling people, right, because people get mad at me, but I've been telling you, I said, look at the same tactics that IUIC using, that ISUPK using, that GOCC use, that even Sakari, because brothers was there. They all used that old philosophy and teachings that if you leave us, your name going to be written out the Lamb's Book of Life, and you'll bug out, and somebody's going to kill you. The Most High.
But Eliah, I mean, didn't that pretty much come down from the top?
Yes, sir.
So this is what we're trying to get.
And he was talking about the gang and stuff, but all that was a setup. Because remember, in the beginning, early on YouTube, the only person that was cussing and handling the Bible was the light-skinned brother Reverend X. But nobody took him serious. It was like a clown show. But then when GMS popped up there in the summer of 2007, it was like Shark TV. Guys on the corner cussing and preaching the Bible. But you know now, the same brothers that started all of this stuff, all right, and I remember calling Bakwash, who was at that time a good brother of mine. I thought he was. But then I talked to Bakwash in 2007. I said, Bakwash, what's going on with the group there? He said Taha was a good brother back in the day, but I don't know what happened. He started, you know, getting them young guys but then he spoke to him and he said Taha changed. And now you see these guys trying to start to sound all scholarly. Now they don't talk like that like they used to, but they set the train in motion. And so that made it easier for the street, like you say, the street vibe, the gang culture, the hip hop, and all of that. You see, and you doggone right, it's been infiltrated.
Totally agree with you, 100%.
Don't send these people to kill you, or then they say they'll call other camps rebels. A lot of them start doing that as well, and just coming up with all this crazy shit that's not true. And I'm like, well, show me in the scriptures where it says that. Show me in the scripture says that if I'm not with you no more, I'm gonna bug out and I can't get to the kingdom. Like these dudes act like they got like the keys to your life and the keys to you being saved when they don't.
Let me say this, right? Don't let these guys deceive you, bro.
Teach them truth. I think that's GMS.
Huh?
I understand what you're saying about we follow Yahawah and not the militant stuff. I agree. It's not just about the militant stuff. I'm saying if we go to war, we need to have some type of simile and be some type of militant. Not on the corner looking like fucking rappers. And nobody don't take people in war ain't gonna take no fucking rappers seriously. Dudes out there with 50 different Israelite silver, what's some chains they be wearing there, all them silver.
And I just wanted to say, that's another issue with these camps. They're wanting war. And see, the Jerusalem movement We are a movement of peace. Let's continue.
Love and the truth.
Yeah. See,
The rings. You know what I'm saying? That shit wasn't never like that One West, right? You couldn't do all that, right?
Nah.
Now, I know they used to have the Shield of David, but now it's like they don't look like One West anymore, like with the meat trees and the garments and brothers out there hard and nobody wouldn't fuck with at the camps. But now people don't care. They shoot, they doing drive-bys at the camp, at brothers teaching.
Let me tell you something, man, where I come from, man. Like when I was in Mount Zion, bro, when you got up to speak, you tried to talk your own thing. Actually, Elder Nathaniel, he's doing like this. He said, you go like this. Stay in the book, first warning. Try to not pull a scripture. They would get them down, put somebody else up. We ain't play, man. Brothers back then ain't play, man. This stuff they got now, but I don't blame the young men. I don't blame them. It's these, I deal with the, as they say, the leadership. They're the ones behind this, man. Because I'm going to tell you straight up, a lot of these dudes that got these leadership positions, they was rebels in One West. Straight up. I'm going to tell you straight up. How you, like he said, like the Son of Man said, how the blind lead the blind, they going to fall in the ditch, right? So how could that happen? Okay, a lot of these cats that's in leadership position now was problems back then, okay? Now, going back, like I said, with the 12 kings, then it went up to the thing with Arya and them, and then we split. We went to the park and all that. And then Nate group tried to be elders. There was a guy named, I don't know if you ever heard of him, his name was, my mind crazy today, Mafia. He had gotten a school. Elder gave him a school. We went down there. They tried to overthrow him. He kicked all of us out. Then we went to the park, Mount Morris Park in Harlem. Okay, then we got there.
So Elder Mafia, he had the school, and they said that he gave it to Elder Hashar and the AOC. And they
No, that was later.
Right, later. That's what I'm saying. That's what I heard about a Mafia.
Right.
I didn't know nothing about the other stuff, but that's what I heard about a Mafia.
Let me tell you about Hashar.
Eliah, do you have anything to add to that?
Say it again.
Do you have anything to add to what they were saying, or?
Yes, I sure did. Real quick, this brother, you're going to notice, and correct me if I'm wrong. I mean, put it in the chat. We can discuss. If I'm wrong, I'll take it back. But this brother, you're going to hear him all through the video, and he's starting here to try to clean up the One West UPK. You can't clean that up. Like I said, you cannot clean up something that has been established on the blood. It's like 1 Kings 21. The prophet, the brother Elder, I call him Elder Naboth. 1 Kings 21.
It is pretty much an identical story.
Same exact thing that happened to. Yeah, I said identical story. First Naboth. Read it. 1 Kings 21. Read it and tell me if it's what happened, not King Ahab, to Elder Abba Bivens. Elder Abba Bivens.
You broke up. You broke up, Elliot. I think you were saying.
And the Jesuits who Ariel sold out to and is married to, that's controlling the whole situation, Jezebel are the Jesuits.
Okay, I'm gonna read the scripture, and then we'll get right into the video. So this is First Kings. This is 1 Kings 21. This is Naboth refuses to sell his vineyard. And it came to pass after these things that Naboth, the Jezreelite, had a vineyard which was in Jezreel, hard by the palace of Ahab, king of Samaria. And Ahab spake unto Naboth, saying, Give me thy vineyard, that I may have it for a garden of herbs, because it is near unto my house, and I will give thee for it better vineyard than it. Or it seem good to thee, I will give thee the worth of it in money. And Naboth said unto Ahab, Yah forbid it me, that I should give the inheritance of my fathers unto thee. And Ahab came into his house heavy and displeased, because the word which Naboth the Jezreelite had spoken to him. For he had said, I will not give thee the inheritance of my fathers. And he laid him down upon his bed and turned away his face and would eat no bread. But Jezebel his wife came to him and said unto him, Why is thy spirit so sad that thou eatest no bread? And he said unto her, Because I spake unto Naboth the Jezreelite, and he said unto him, Give me thy vineyard for money, or else, if it please thee, I will give thee another vineyard for it. And he answered, I will not give thee my vineyard. And Jezebel his wife said unto him, and Jezebel is the Catholic Church, is what Eliah is saying, right? Is what we're saying. And Jezebel his wife said unto him, Do thou now govern the kingdom of Israel? Arise and eat bread, and let thy heart be merry. I will give thee the vineyard of Naboth the Jezreelite. So she wrote letters in Ahab's name, and sealed them with his seal, and sent the letters unto the elders, and to the nobles that were in his city, dwelling with Naboth. And she wrote in the letters, saying, Proclaim a fast, and set Naboth on high among the people, and set 2 men, sons of Belial, before him, to bear witness against him, saying, Thou didst blaspheme God and the king. And then carry him out and stone him, that he may die. And the men of his city, even the elders of the nobles, who were the inhabitants in his city, did as Jezebel had sent unto them, and as it was written in the letters which had sent unto them. They proclaimed a fast, and set Naboth on high among the people. And there came in 2 men, children of Belial, and set before him, and the men of Belial witnessed against him, even against Naboth, in the presence of the people, saying, Naboth did blaspheme God and the king. Then they carried him forth out of the city, and stoned him with stones, that he died. Then they said to Jezebel, saying, Naboth is stoned, and is dead. And it came to pass, when Jezebel heard that Naboth was stoned and was dead, that Jezebel said unto Ahab, Arise, take possession of the vineyard of Naboth, the Jezreelite, which he refused to give thee for money, for Naboth is not alive, but dead. And it came to pass, when Ahab heard that Naboth was dead, that Ahab rose up to go down to the vineyard of Naboth and Naboth the Jezreelite, to take possession of it. And the word of Yah came to Eliah the Tishbite, saying, Arise and go meet Ahab, king of Israel, which is in Samaria. Behold, he is in the vineyard of Naboth, whither he is gone down to possess it. And thou shalt speak unto him, saying, Thus saith Yah, Hast thou killed and also taken possession? And thou shalt speak unto him, saying, Thus saith Yah.
In chapter 10, showing that all the camps will be destroyed. And also we noticed that in one of the videos, earlier videos that you did, that came out as well.
Totally agree. All right, let's get back to the video.
We knew him before he came into truth. He used to run with Elder. You know Elder Zaquan, right? Out of North Carolina?
Yes.
Yeah, he used to come and
That's his cousin, right?
Huh?
They said that's his cousin.
Nah.
Okay.
Yeah, but they grew up together.
Okay.
We grew up together. And in the world, his name was Trev. We used to call him Trev. Mm-hmm. Trev, we used to hang out. Good dude, love him to death. And then next year I know he an Israelite. I'm like, oh, wow. I never seen him in One West. I don't know if he's telling that. I never seen him.
No, I don't know, but it is videos of him back at One West doing teachings with other brothers. So I did see a video. Somebody was showing videos like from AOC, like they uploaded.
Was he up on the street teaching, or he was in One West, the school?
I don't know if he was like in the school. He was teaching. I don't know if it was the original, but I know that he had braids and shit. Didn't he have braids before?
Yeah. Yeah, he probably at Mafia school. Yeah. Yeah. Good dude, for real. No, good brother. Yeah. But he probably was teaching that, but a lot of people wasn't in that original. Okay. Yeah, but going back to that, then there was all them places. Then when we went to the park, Nate and Yahasha and them cats tried to step in position like the 7 was. you know.
And that's what I was saying. What's going on now? I don't know if you recently saw Isupk Passover, but a sister had a joint on the back of her, like all these dudes, and it was like it's like the reformation of the seven in IUIC with Nate, the bishops. He got Yahawah Sot, Kana himself, and then got they all doing the same old pyramid scheme all over again. And I'm like a blind man can see this because Cuffy had the same type of shit with the apostles. And then you got the apostles of GMS, all of them, we the apostles, is this many of us, and I'm like, it's like the same pyramid scheme from Old One West. Everybody doing it with their own school now. But then it's like everybody fighting for power of who's the leaders of the nation. You know what I'm saying? That's what it seems like to me.
Right. I got to bring my scriptures too, bro. I be forgetting them. But
right. All the pictures of the generals, right?
Right.
Talking about. She had 7 though, but they was like in a pyramid scheme. Matter of fact, I think I got that picture. Let me find. Go ahead, Elder. Let me find that picture though.
Eliah, you wanna shed some light on that? Because I know we were talking about that at one point in time, like how they have the picture set up in the pyramids.
You saying? I didn't hear that last part.
Oh, well, I know that we were talking about how they had the picture set up, you know what I mean, like in the pyramids and the different signs that they were using, the different, postures, should we say, the poses that they were using when they were taking the pictures, like Nathaniel.
Oh, yeah. There's, they have been taking, they call them signal pictures, where sometimes they may point the Mason's finger forward or put it on their temple or something like that. You see a guy that's every 5 minutes, he got his hand on his temple. Now you guys see got a bunch of almost all their little pictures, that's a signal picture signaling that they are Freemasons. And those that see those pictures, they know what the deal is. But it's to the point where they don't care. Okay, they doing it. I mean, they throwing up the 666 and the, what do you call it, devil horns, whatever. I mean, everything is out now. And this is what this series is about. Bringing everything out.
Totally agree.
Yeah.
I got a lot of shit that I keep. Everything I find, I keep it all. I don't delete nothing.
Right.
I got that picture in here though. Found that goddamn picture.
Yeah. So that happened. Went down there, then they started to get. I remember one time, it was rumored that the Yahawah guy was saying that they were going to be the new 7. Okay, and they came in there and it was a brother named Zafra. He's the first one down in Atlanta.
This picture.
I brought him down. Huh?
Are you seeing this picture right here? This is what I'm talking about. Now this is the Isupk 7. Now you see how they got it like in the pyramid scheme, Yohana in the middle, Mahayim. This is General Malakia or something like that. Now I don't know the rest of these dudes' names. I know this dude used to be a cop though. He did say that he was like a police somewhere, but he stopped. Now I don't know this guy's name, and I know this guy. He used to be in Baltimore a lot. And this guy here, I don't know who he is either. Now I met him in person. I don't remember seeing him. And the rest of these guys at their cookout in 2014.
Right.
But this is their new 7 here. These 7 generals. And then they are still going on with this spiritual father doctrine that I don't like. And I've been hearing a lot of camps teaching this, that I'm your spiritual father. And Christ said, call no man your father.
Right.
And they got this doctrine where they teaching this shit. And you can't go against your spiritual father. And I'm like, get out of here with that shit. Listen, my daddy died when I was 16. When my daddy left the earth and transitioned to the spirit world, I became my own fucking man. Ain't nobody on this earth my spiritual daddy, nigga. So you ain't doing shit like that. And I'm your spiritual father. You can't go up against your spiritual father. Hey, get the fuck out of here. And then all of them got these doctrines because now I be saying Isupk members talking about they love these men more than their own parents. And the scripture says honor thy mother and father. But then they'll tell you, well, Christ said, who's your mother, who's your father? Yeah, but that don't mean that. That's not talking about you ain't supposed to respect and honor them because they're not in the truth. And you want to say you love these men that you don't even fucking know. And then they got you in some beef, some old shit from back then that has nothing to do with you. So now you don't like this person. Because when I was watching the video, that dude was on the ground talking about, I die for Yohana. I I said, this nigga's a fool.
You know, and that just goes to show you, you know, all the mansies that's out here in these camps. You know, they're a bunch of yes men. You know, no one speaks up for themselves. No one stands up for themselves. They go in these camps and allow brothers to take their wives. You know what I mean? Brothers don't too scared to ask questions. All type of madness.
Yeah, you're right, Gov. And if this activity, let's just keep it 100, right? Keep it a stack. If this activity was displayed anywhere else but us in the camp, you know it would be labeled as a cult. Keep it 100.
Yeah, I totally agree. I mean, you do have Captain Tazariak, you know, that wears, you know, the T-shirt that he's a cult leader. So, you know, at least he's keeping it 100.
Yeah, he's keeping it 100 and slash scam. And people have been using religion to scam people for how long?
I mean,
But see, this is serious because this is not only dealing with the Creator Yah's people, Israel, but we're in the last of the last days.
yeah, we in the last.
I know what the scripture said about it, but I'm sorry. I just have to say it. You would die.
Oh shit, yeah. Yo, the devil is silent.